What an interesting day I've had today. Now, as you can see, I am on one of the walk tracks locally. This is the Estuary Walkway. Now, this was prompted by a question that my physio asked me this morning, and he was basically trying to get me to assess whether I was better off now without the foot and with a prosthetic than I was with the foot in its damaged condition prior to the amputation. Now, I had to really think about that for a moment to decide whether I was in a better place yet or not. But I actually, in the end, concluded that I was, because if it wasn't for the bad fitting socket, which just is because it's so early on and the thing wears out, well, no, it doesn't wear out. My leg shrinks because of the post-surgery swelling going down and stuff like that. If it wasn't for that, I'd be able to walk around with one crutch, not a problem. What I find if I do it for too long though is there's too much pressure down the bottom of the socket, which means the socket is too big and there's too much pressure down the end of the bone. Now I've got to be careful about that because it can give me calluses and stuff like that. So I am still using two crutches just for that reason, but I don't actually need them. So, am I in a better place than I was prior to surgery whilst I still had the foot that was in a damaged condition? Well, I have just walked from the car park to this bird hide, and when I was trying to get the collateral blood flow working and keep the foot, I was walking on crutches, these crutches that I've still got here, and with 2 feet, and I was walking to this bird hide. Now, when I was in the midst of all of those save the leg surgeries, I couldn't get here without stopping halfway. Today I walked, now it's only 200 meters, that's it, but today I walked straight here from the car without having to stop. And I couldn't have done that before because I can tell you where on this path I would have had to stop. So that is making me feel really good. Now I could actually carry on, but I'm not going to because of the ill-fitting socket and because I've been on the leg quite a lot today with physio and all sorts of other things. So I'm actually not going to walk any further, but I will come back to this track in a few days on a day where I've not been on my feet so much, and I will see if I can get to the next bench along, which makes it, I think, just short of a kilometre once I get back. Now that would be cool if I could, but even so, I'm feeling pretty happy because I know that I can walk further now with a prosthetic and crutches than I could before with my actual foot and crutches. So that is a win for me today. Then I want to talk a little bit about headspace. Now, psychological stuff is I've been talking about a lot because there's a lot of psychological and emotional damage done by the loss of a limb and the journey you go through. Where am I at psychologically at the moment? Well, I would say that I'm doing pretty well because as each little thing gets ticked off, that I get it back, like the swimming. I can now swim. I can now walk a bit further. I am on a track. I'm on the track. I have been able to go back to work part-time. Each time I tick one of those things off, it brings the life I lost back to me one little step at a time. And that makes me feel like I'm regaining control over all the things I lost control of prior to having to lose the leg. So I'm feeling a lot more positive than I have done in a long time, I have to tell you. Now, there are two things that I need to get back to put me in a better place than before I lost the leg. And, well, actually, I probably am in a better place already, but that puts me ahead of where I was before I lost the leg and before the foot started really giving me major trouble, and that is being able to walk without crutches and being able to ride my bike again. That means I have returned to life as we know it, regardless of the fact that I've lost a foot. Now, I know those two things are a bit further down the track, and the bike might mean either a bike prosthetic or adjustments to the bike, but that I'm not going to worry about right now. What I'm currently focusing on is walking with one crutch and walking without the crutches. This might be held up a little bit, that's all right, because of Christmas and the limb centre's closed, but I've got an appointment in January and we're going to do another casting for a new leg, and we will see how I go then. I'm feeling pretty confident that I'll be able to be without the crutches by the end of January. I would say a month ahead of where the physio kind of thought. I could like to smash goals, but you know that anyway. So I'm feeling really good today, and I'm sitting in this bird hide feeling pretty darn chuffed with myself that I've been able to walk further today than I could before when I had my own 2 feet.